Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All correspondence is on file in the clerk's office.
You got to turn up. Slide it.
We'll start with the oral committee reports. The first is the town clerk.
Good evening, everyone. So my report stems from May 19th, 2021 to June 15th, 2021. So my office did 50 dog renewals, dog enumerations. We have taken in 152 new dogs, which has brought in $495 in fees. We've done 4 marriage licenses and 5 copies of transcripts for marriage licenses. We've done 24 death transcripts. We did 2 genealogy searches from the years 1870 to 1893. We did 19 fishing licenses. Total money to the supervisor was $1,115.58. Total money to New York State was $582.42. Tax collection. So total tax collected was 3,296 parcels, which amounted to $8,733,966.75. Total taxes uncollected was 120 parcels, which came out to $603,033.33. My tax books are now closed. All unpaid taxes have been turned over to the Commissioner of Finance. Final payments to the bookkeeper. In penalties, we collected $15,742.63. We had $40 in return check fees, and we had $340 in second notice fees. The interest, the bookkeeper doesn't get to the end of the month, but it's minimal. It's around $16. The transfer station. The month of May, we took in $4,810. The transfer station to date has taken in $24,006. I did, my staff and I did 24 handicap renewals. Since my last report, we have completed 19 FOIL requests, and 8 FOIL requests are still pending. So on Saturday, June 5th, 2021, I had the honor and the privilege to be asked by Herb and Sue Rettle and family to host a plaque dedication ceremony at the mill site to honor our past supervisor, Penny Hickman. I worked with Mr. Rettle for several months to help design the plaque that he envisioned. After a few minor adjustments, Herb and his wife, Sue, chose a beautiful plaque to honor such a special lady. Mr. Rettle knew Penny was a catalyst in obtaining the old mill site and was instrumental in obtaining it for a town park as work was performed on the old mill factory and the site was improved for town use. He felt this recognition had to be a priority. As per the Rettles family's request, this was by invitation only, not wanting this to be anything about politics, but about Penny and to be surrounded by her closest friends and family. I would like to thank Supervisor Szynski, Councilman Mazzella, Councilwoman Albrecht, and Councilman Delvecchio for attending the ceremony. Special thanks goes out to our maintenance crew, Tom Morrison, Matt Ninny, and Jason Velez for all their hard work in the prep and painting to prepare the mill site for this event. I would like to ask each and every resident to take a moment of their time to stop by the mill site to look at the plaque and the new Japanese maple tree, which was planted in Penny's honor by the generous donation from the Hickman family. These symbols at the mill site are beautiful reminders of her fiery spirit, a smile that could light up the room, eyes that twinkled when she laughed, her compassion and her love for her residents, knowing that she was not above them but beside them. This plaque will be here to be admired for many generations to come. I was asked by Supervisor Szynski to read a letter from Miss Esther Oduskowski that came into the town board, and it states, "Dear board members of the board, as a longtime resident of Pleasant Valley, I consider myself lucky for having such great people working in the office and the building departments. Throughout the years, it has always been a pleasure to go to Town Hall. The employees are real public servants. They are helpful, professional, knowledgeable, and nice. Thank you for selecting such a wonderful group of employees. Please convey my thanks and my appreciation to all of them." Again, I would like to say to all the employees in the town of Pleasant Valley, along with my staff, Kathy Miller and Jen Burke-Adams, thank you for the amazing job you do every day, and know that you are being recognized. You are an important part of the Pleasant Valley team, and we value your dedication to the town. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mary Beth.
County legislative reports.
Good evening.
We'll pick both of you up at Howard.
Well, okay.
yeah,
excellent.
Good evening, Town Board. We decided that we would stand up here together, so.
It's the same report, right?
It's the same report. Yeah, go ahead, Deidre.
So first and foremost, we had our legislative meeting on Monday night, and what I want to talk to you and the residents of Pleasant Valley about is some of the funding for the ARP funds. We funded $3.1 million that is going to be special for grants for youth of the county. It is specifically for 501c3s and nonprofits. They can apply for the funds. And it is targeting youth in special areas of sports, theater and arts, and libraries. So it's a very simple application. Any 501c3 that is interested in applying can apply, can go through Don Sagliano or myself, contact us, and we're happy to get going on the process. But there's $3.1 million on the table for youth. So I think it's a really good start for the residents of the county, and hopefully some 501c3s and nonprofits in Pleasant Valley will tap into that fund and apply for some money.
And the goal of that particular tranche of the American Rescue Plan funds was to help those not-for-profits that weren't able to do any individual fundraising and stuff over the last 18 months. So for instance, if the Little League baseball team needed repairs to their dugout at their field or whatever, and it was a small amount, maybe they need $3,000 or $4,000. It's going to be a lot of small line item stuff. There's also opportunities if there's something that comes up that's a little bit more substantial. But again, this is going to be totally directed towards youth activities, a lot of emphasis on sports, getting kids out, as well as the arts. If there's a music program that needs sheet music or stands or whatever, or chairs, this is a great opportunity. There should be something on the county website shortly, if it's not there already. But this is the county executive as well as the legislature. We wanted this to be a very simple, it should be a one-page application form. This isn't going to be a 30-page grant application that requires SECRA and environmental impact statements. I'm turning to the town engineer. So again, this is $3.1 million. This is the first portion. There's going to be another $10 million available for more specific and larger projects as we move through this. To speak to the rescue funds, the county is going to be receiving $57 million over the next 2 years. I know the town is receiving around $1 million or something around that. So the use of the funds was to replace lost revenue. The county identified $33 million in lost revenue. So there's really no impact with regards to the fund balance. This lost revenue will go in and will be able to keep the county healthy. but there's also no strings attached with how the funds can be used with regards to the plan of the American Rescue Plan. Did you want
Yes.
to talk about the stadium?
We did fund $12.5 million for the Dutchess County Renegade Stadium. It is a county park, so we invested in our county park. Many people don't know or didn't know that the land that the stadium was located on was not owned by the county. It was owned by Beacon City School District. So on Monday night, we did pass a resolution that allows the county to pay for the land that the stadium is on. And so with that, we purchased the property, and then we did make an investment into the stadium. Just for clarity, the stadium is owned by Dutchess County. It is a park. We invested in the park. And we also signed a lease with the Hudson Valley Renegades, who also then has obviously brought the Yankee minor league team. We did not fund the Yankees.
Yeah.
To be clear, we did not. We invested in a county park, as we invest in all of our county parks on a regular basis. But there will be upgrades to the stadium, and hopefully everybody in the county can use the stadium and go and watch a baseball game, and it's going to be a great addition to the county park system.
So in speaking to the stadium exclusively, it's 33 acres. The sale price of the land was $627,000. The school district in Beacon wanted to get rid of the land for a very, very long time. They would finally agree to everything. It had a appraisal and all that. But this 25-year lease with the Hudson Valley Renegades. Now, the Renegades can make an arrangement with any major league affiliation. They've been lucky enough to bring the Yankees local here. The stadium's doing great so far this year. Now with the rescinding of the COVID requirements, they'll be able to have full occupancy. But the lease, the 25-year lease, and the use of these funds today or the next 4 or 5 months means the county's going to save $600,000 a year because they're not going to have bond or financing or carrying costs. And that $600,000, $200,000 a year will be going into a recreation trust fund of some sort, and the balance of the $400,000 will be able to fund any county-wide programs or initiatives. So it was really a way to not encumber the county with the bonding issue and be able to go forward and get these improvements done, which should be done in time for next year's baseball season.
Any questions for us?
And if you guys need anything, you know where to find us. So thank you very much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Bowler?
Greg Bolner with CPL. The Town Recreation Director, Sandy Coe, had asked me to come here tonight and make a presentation on the proposal for the bathroom facilities at the Helen Aldridge Park. Sorry. Slides. I brought an easel here. So this is what we're proposing here, and as a conceptual plan would be 2 bathroom facilities with a small concession stand area, which would allow for cooking of minor cooking of food to be sold in concessions. The bathroom facilities, the women's facility would have 2 toilets. The men's would have a toilet and a urinal. Generally speaking, with regards to this being a town park facility, if the town were to have day camp and lunches, it would accommodate between 125 and 150 participants in a day camp, which I think is larger than what the town currently experiences, but it's hard to have a half toilet. And then the same thing with, if you looked at this from the standpoint of a stadium, just to kind of give a perspective, 2 toilets would be comparable to about 150 men, and 2 toilets for women's would be about 100 women. So not that you're going to have 250 people at a baseball game, but just comparably to give an idea of what the sizing would accommodate for the use of the facilities. So this would allow for growth. What we're showing here is a conceptual plan. We're currently building one similar to this for the town of Wappinger for their handicap accessible ball field that they have at Robinson Lane Field. But these are basically poured concrete walls with a wood roof, a wood truss roof. So it's with the poured concrete walls. They come in 3 sections. So they're delivered to the site in 3 sections. It's about a 12 to 16 week build time once ordered, but when they're delivered to the site, they're placed on a gravel pad, so it's a very quick installation in the field. They come pre-plumbed, all of the fixtures are included in the structure when they come and arrive on site, so it's like a modular house or a modular building. It also has a triple bay sink, which is compliant with being able to be cooking facilities in the concession stand area. We don't have any fixtures in the concession stand area because in talking with the rec director, it would be more things along the lines of a microwave, maybe a hot dog cooker, crock pots, things such as that, where you would heat foods, not necessarily a kitchen facility, which when you get into a kitchen facility, you get into other things that fire protection, things such as that we're avoiding. Based on the cost estimates that we've done and speaking with the company that provided the plans for us, it would go out to bid, and there would be a specification based on a design layout, but it would go out to a bid to a general contractor who would then purchase the building and then have it set in place. We're estimating the total cost of it to be around $361,000. That includes about $175,000 for the building installation itself, another $42,000 for the concession stand. We've got in there $15,000 for electrical, $25,000 for a new well. The Helen Aldrich Park is in currently need of water and sewer facilities, so this would include a new well and then also a new septic system. We are showing in here some in-kind services by town departments to install some of the subsurface disposal system, do trenching and basic work such as that to complement and keep costs down. A lot of this work we would anticipate based on a schedule would be to have design and approvals ready by the end of probably around September, October, be able to get it out to bid. That way the building can be constructed, because it's a prefab building, over the winter and delivered to the site in March, April for installation. So it would be ready for the May, June time frame for for the rec programs. So that's basically the schedule.
And then for Camp Sunny Days.
Right. So, any questions? I do also have just a general conceptual layout. The conceptual layout, these are the baseball fields here. The well would be over near the existing pavilion, primarily to provide a 200-foot area of control for setback of a public water supply well. The bathroom facility would be over here. You've got the existing gravel parking lot. You have the subsurface disposal system out in this big open field, which having that out in that big open field does not preclude that field from being used for additional recreation facilities. If that were to be the town's desire, you can't obviously have traffic on top of that, but for having fields on top of your leach field is not an issue. So it doesn't take away from the use of that area, I guess is what I'm saying.
Is there any way from the well you go through the middle of Baker Field? That would need to be done right away then. Through there because we need to get
We can go through there, or we can go around the outside. It's not,
the end of the season.
Yeah.
That's my head.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then that way you have plenty of time over the year. And a lot of that, again, would be something that would be, the excavation of that would be done by town staff, so that would be something that could be scheduled to where they could do that during any downtime during the fall or winter.
Right.
They could, it wouldn't be because we'd want to have that laid out and approved by the health department so that it could be put on a convenience schedule as opposed to it's got to get done schedule. Because, and then that way they can do it at when it's convenient. And I think that's about it. We'd also be looking at potentially taking a line from that if to provide any water supply for the rest of the town park. You could bring another line off of that same well to have another to provide water to other portions of the park.
But not for the Helen Aldrich building per se, because they have their own.
Yes, they have their own well.
Their own well that's.
Correct, it wouldn't be needed for that, but if they wanted to have some additional water supply, well, we figured with the water supply, you also have to have treatment, so the treatment would occur inside the building. You basically have a small interior area here that would be where they would have like the hot water heater and the electrical panel, and you could also have, a pressure tank for the well. Probably if we're looking at just having it inside the building, probably look at UV, because UV treatment, as opposed to chlorination, is a little less maintenance intensive for park staff.
Greg, has there been an RFP yet on this?
No, right now we're just looking at a conceptual plan. We haven't put together bid documents from the standpoint of being able to go out to bid. A request for proposal, which you're referring to, would only be allowed for projects under $35,000. So it would have to go out as a full bid project.
And we have no bids at all yet?
No.
Okay. Has anyone asked the residents that are surrounding the park if this is something that they'd be going along with? Is there a study planning to do that at all?
That, I have not been directed by the town to do a study on because we're not talking, well.
I mean, we're talking wells. Water
Right.
these days is a big deal.
Yes.
Okay, so obviously there might be some concerns of the neighbors. How far, how deep, how much, and if the plan is to have hundreds of 50 people or 200 people at a baseball game, which I believe is the only thing up there, right? A baseball field, there's no soccer field.
Right, and I wasn't saying I'm just saying two toilets. I'm just saying two toilets would allow for that.
Let's say we have a very, very big game. Let's say the Renegade Stadium is under repair, and they have to come to Helen Aldrich Park, and we have to use us for a temporary. I'm just saying, that's a lot of flushing, that's a lot of water use, that's a lot of sewage use. I would think that the people surrounding would want to have at least some kind of say of some sort. That's just a question.
We can definitely incorporate that into, because we will have to test the well, and when we test the well, we can reach, what I've done in other projects is we then reach out to the neighboring properties to collect samples from their wells before and after the testing, so we can see whether or not there's any impacts on their wells.
And so this price is now obviously going up from the original bathroom price, right? So we're now up to, what's 126,000 extra from the original? The original price was 350.
350. This is 361.
361 plus 42 plus 15 plus 25, and you didn't say what the septic was going to cost.
No, those 42 plus 15 plus 25 are included in that 361.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that 361 includes building, the concession stand, the area, the subsurface disposal system, the well. It also includes design contingency and soft costs for engineering and permitting.
Any idea of what it would cost by September?
Things are going up, and I can't predict, but having something that's a pre-constructed building, we're not seeing that same cost increase as we are seeing in stick build. We're seeing it because a lot of that is, again, this would be work that could be done over the winter inside of a warehouse type of structure. I don't know if you're familiar with like Chelsea Homes. This would be the same type, but this is out of Pennsylvania, happens to be. But so it's a little, I think it's a little less impacted, but clearly there's a lot of work coming out for construction and prices are going up.
Thank you.
Do you want to leave this for the town?
Sure. Anyone wants to look at it after the meeting, sure.
Okay. I might take the easel, but
I might take my easel, but I'll leave this.
thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Greg, one more question. How many people are in the business of building these prefabs?
There's about 2 or 3 companies that build these prefab structures. I know there's at least 2 because we have gotten pricing from 2 different companies, but a lot of times you're still looking at going to a general contractor, a local general contractor, who is then working through the different prefab companies. So it wouldn't be the prefab company that would bid on the project. It would be a local general contractor.
Yes, okay. Sandy, are you?
I think you have a little bit of an update, Councilman Mazzella, with the rec committee.
Just kind of coincide with your program updates. We just appointed, or we're appointing a new recreation committee member tonight, and just want to give everybody an update. We've had a couple meetings, we toured the parks, we're working on a grant for, with some of our members to fab up the quote-unquote trailhead plus the trails over at Bowers, so.
Well, and now that we have that grant info, I'm sure we'll
Oh, yeah, and I'll pass that
be
information along to
contacting the
Little League.
county. Okay, I want to thank the town board for the opportunity to discuss our recreation programs tonight. And I do want to thank you for our new copier, and especially Councilwoman Albrecht, who coordinated the project. We can't wait to put it to good use. So I'll...
Just pull the microphone in front of you, just pull it down, there you go.
Okay. Although I can scream louder with... I'll start with the camps. I want to thank our day camp director, Danielle Salzowitz, and our Allison Squires and David Strattonhouse, who's our health director and assistant, who have currently been reviewing all of our camper medical records. Also our maintenance staff, Tom Morrison, Matt Ninny, and Jason Velez, for their assistance in getting the Helen Wooldridge site ready, and they're still working on it. Last but not least, the PV Highway Department Superintendent John Baxter and his crew of miracle workers who removed debris from the site in order to have a safe place for our campers. There was a lot of dried up cement that was by the entrance of one of the part of the shed. So as you probably know, the state announced yesterday it is lifting the COVID guidelines. We look forward to reviewing the new COVID guidelines as soon as they are available. Until then, we have a limit for the maximum number of campers for our camps based on the prior guidelines. I was actually talking to the Department of Health today, and they are also in the dark as to what exactly these new guidelines are going to mean, not only for camps, but for sports. So we're really hoping the social distancing guidelines will be a little less stringent. We're receiving daily registrations. Our basketball camp this year is being held at Helen Wooldridge basketball courts rather than inside the LMS gyms because the schools are not allowing us inside yet. Coach Laffin is looking forward to an awesome season this year, and our special thanks to Captain Baxter of the PV Fire Department, Station 2, Salt Point, for scheduling a drill that cleaned off the basketball courts for us. Soccer camp is progressing nicely, and we're hoping to have our highest number of campers this season. Coaches Christine Jensen and Lisa Aravena will be running the camp this year, and it'll be held at the Bauer Park soccer fields. Camp Sunny Days will be operating from our new location at Helen Aldridge. We're really excited about that. Session 1 is almost at capacity unless the new guidelines allow us more. This may change depending on the new guidelines. Session 2 and 3 still have room. Our Summer Hoops program, which is run by coaches Hotling and Rich Chapman. Our youngest division has the highest number of participants than we've ever had. And also, that's the same for the older division, so we're really excited about that. We did extend the length of the season, and I'm sure people are just excited to have their kids get outside and enjoy the fresh air. Our concert series, the first concert is tomorrow night. That's the Southern Duchess Band. They usually start us off each year. They're great. So if you haven't come to one of the concerts, bring your lawn chair or a blanket and just enjoy an evening of good music. And I'll give a little intro to our soccer director, who's going to come up and finish talking about the wonderful work that she's doing with our soccer program. Thank you for your time.
Hey, everybody. Just came from soccer. It's an awesome night outside. Good evening, Pleasant Valley Town Board and members of the community. With this being the last town board meeting before our PV Rec soccer season ends, I wanted to take a few minutes to update everyone on our first ever spring season here in Pleasant Valley. Our Player and Me Soccer Tot program had 69 tot participants, accompanied by their 69 big people. Our in-town co-ed soccer program had 158 participants. Our LDT, limited distance travel program, which is also considered an intramural and rec level program, consists of 65 participants, all of which gave us a total of over 360 human beings enjoying the soccer program here in Pleasant Valley. These 360 plus kids, parents, and volunteers came not only from Pleasant Valley and Salt Point, but also from Poughkeepsie, Clinton Corners, Rhinebeck, Millbrook, Amenia, Hopewell Junction, and even some from New York City. For the most part, PV Rec soccer programming is a resounding success because of the slew of volunteers that came out and dedicate their time and energy and patience that it takes to give these well-deserving, tiny members of our community the best soccer program that we can offer. I want to take a minute and thank the following people who stepped up as a volunteer to help make this season a success. Helping me out with coordinating soccer tots was Sarah Nieves. Coaching U5 and U6 was Kristen and Alex Gilbert, Jody Lubbers, Heather Hoos, Tim McCormick, John Maestri, Sandra Klein, Sarah Nieves, Evan and Erin Kelsey. U7, U8 coaches, Lisa Aravena, Frank Cabrera and his son, junior coach Tommy, Nate Hoffman, Stephanie Daly, Mike Rotundo, Jared Martins. U9, U10 coaches, myself, Kyle Crawford, Anthony Howlett, Dan and Morgan Deegan, John Maestri, John Bauer, Jose Cotto. Also in U7, U8, Dan and Morgan Deegan. I don't want to jip them from double credit. The in-town refs that came out to help us ref our soccer games, Seth Greenspan, Morgan Hamill, Amy Jack, Corey Greenspan, Jamie Feicht, and a junior ref, Amelia Jensen. Our LDT coaches, Christine Jensen, Lisa Aravena, Ray Newsom, Tim Comerford, Frank Mazzella, Eric Butt, Corey Greenspan, and Amy Jack. And lastly, much thanks to the countless parents who stepped up to help a coach who needed help, whether that help was wrangling kids at practice, coaching a kid while in goal during a game, or bringing hot chocolate on a cold, rainy day. Your coaches were grateful for the help. I am grateful for your support. It really does take a village. You are all wonderful people, and the community is better for knowing you all. I would like to thank all of the behind-the-scenes people who helped make our season a success. Recreation Director Sandy Coe, Recreation Leader Danielle Salowitz, Tom Morrison, Matt Nenny, I hope I'm saying these names right, and Jason Velez, the Maintenance Department, for maintaining the grounds and making sure that the lines were painted and maintained. Lastly, I would like to thank the Town Board of Pleasant Valley for allowing our town to offer the community this new and exciting spring soccer opportunity. I'm grateful. On to the business of fall soccer. Registration is currently open. Summer does not exist for some of us. There is no rest for the wicked, or me. Registration ends 6/27 with late registration beginning 6/28. It is based on a first-come, first-served basis. If you're interested in registering as a community member, your child, or interested in volunteering, you can go to www.pvrec.com for all the information and details. New to PV Rec soccer this year is the LDT girls soccer. It's very exciting, but I do want to urge you, people in the community, it is imperative to register as soon as possible. Once these rosters are full, we will be faced up putting extra registrants on a co-ed team. The importance of putting girls soccer in our community at this age group is so important. At this age group is where girls and boys are physically, developmentally different. And I have seen that in this town at a U12 age, there are less girls playing, and by U15, there is not a single girl on our teams, and by U19, there's, again, no girls. This is because a U15 aged boy playing against a U13 aged girl is quite physically different. The other towns with larger programs are always able to offer that programming to their community, so they do have girls' teams, boys' teams. We are probably one, if not maybe one of the only two that offer co-ed teams. I'm very happy to be able to bring this to our community. I think we've all worked really hard to get this here. I have been contacted by people who have left Pleasant Valley for soccer. They heard rumors that we are offering girls' soccer, and they're coming home. So I couldn't be happier. Tell everyone. Lastly, PV soccer is volunteer run. It always has been, and if I have anything to say, it will always be that way. I think we have a pretty great community here. I think we have amazing and talented individuals living amongst us. I implore those people to come out and volunteer with soccer programming. We are always in need of coaches, assistant coaches, goalkeeping trainers. If you think you can help in any way, I'll find a place for you to help. Please contact me. Again, thank you. I wish you all a good night. Have a good one.
Thank you. At this point, we're going to have a motion to open it to the public. I will remind everybody, there's a 3-minute time limit, one time only. Jen, have you got the timer? Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carol Campbell, 122 Marshall Road. I have the same question about opening the meeting. As I'm looking at the agenda, I believe it says that you're opening the meeting to the public for agenda items only at the end of the meeting. Is that correct?
Oh, it should be the other way around.
It should be the other way around.
Should be the other way around.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, in hindsight. So,
Do you want to redo your motion?
Yes.
yeah,
I think we should.
I'll amend that motion. I will open the meeting to the public for agenda items only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I appreciate
Sorry,
that.
that was-
Okay.
Yeah.
The item that I want to talk about is the compactor, the proposed compactor rates. I emailed a letter to the town board on Tuesday, June 15th, regarding the new transfer rates which are being considered for adoption at tonight's meeting. I want to make a note that the residents only had 3 days to see the proposed changes. What's the hurry? That's how we got stuck with the outrageous increases in the building and zoning fees. Oh, wait, at least we got 3 days before these were passed. I've been following this topic for months. I've spoken to many at the town board meetings. I've offered some suggestions and possible ways to defer the costs. I want to say I'm not against an increase in fees. I'm not. but I'm not in favor of putting them all into effect at the same time. We have not been told yet if we were able to reduce some of the costs when we stopped taking C&D materials. So I have some questions, and since I have not had an opportunity to see the resolution, I don't know if any of these questions are covered in that resolution. The permits have 6 classifications, and I want to know what proof might be needed from the residents and the businesses. So $50 for PV residents, $30 for PV seniors, veterans, or active military, and so on. I'd like to know when we're starting to get permits. Will customers be turned away at the compactor if they don't have one? But my biggest concern, and I have a lot, I'm not going to make my 3 minutes because I'm going to shorten this. I'd like to know about the permit itself, what material it's going to be, how it's going to be affixed. I'm worried that it can be passed around from one person to another if it's not. I'm also, myself, have many vehicles. If it's going to be affixed to a vehicle, what do I do with, additional vehicles? I'm glad to see that we have garbage, that we have tires again. I understand that that's a big deal because we were making money on them, but my question is there a difference in the size? How are we charging that? So I think this is a great idea. I think the fees are long overdue, but I'm against the town passing a resolution to adopt these rates as proposed tonight, because I feel some advanced planning is necessary before putting them into effect. They will be a tremendous burden on the town clerk's office and the staff at the compactor. Let me just make my last statement. Everything is going up in price. Gasoline, electric, food at the grocery store, building materials. If you want to go out now with COVID over and enjoy a nice meal. While I agree we should be looking at ways to balance the budget at the transfer station, you've already placed a burden on taxpayers by increasing our taxes and raising our building and zoning fees. So I would encourage you to take a look at this and see if we couldn't maybe defer it until another meeting. Again, what's the hurry?
You changed the agenda, so this is for items on the agenda today only. The second one is open? Yes. Because that says the opposite.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Gary Veter, Salt Point Turnpike, Pleasant Valley. I had this all figured out for 3 minutes, but you kind of screwed me up. The compactor, increases in fees, etc. Why isn't our truck hauling the containers so that we can control the pricing? In your fees, I gotta laugh at some of them. You're charging me $1 to throw a mouse. How many people are going to pay the $1? They're going to throw it in the garbage. I mean, there's other examples in there, but I'm not going to waste time on that. Aldridge Park. Where's that money coming from? We already went through one permissive referendum. I hear you're switching one fund to another. If that is correct, and you're switching the one that required a permissive referendum, I think you're going to need a referendum to move it. These meetings are impossible for citizens to discuss items. The agenda resolutions, lists resolutions without anybody knowing what is involved in a resolution. So we can't address it. Employee compensation is on the agenda, I believe. What's that about? I see a notice at the compactor advertising a position for $17 an hour. Didn't that need action by the town board? The town attendant up there, Tom, has been there 10 years. His salary is still below the minimum for McDonald's. I really think the town board could improve transparency so people know what's going on. I really don't want to come here every meeting, but I have to come because that's the only way I can find out what's going on.
Scott Cookingham, 99 West Road. About the transfer station, like you were stating, $17 an hour. I heard that right now we're paying a guy overtime to be working Friday and Saturday there because we only work for the town. It's only 4 days, 10-hour days. So that means whoever's doing that job for Mr. Brink, while he's out right now, we're paying overtime. So that's definitely more than $17 the job. I also have heard that Butch Gardner, the old, supervisor there, stated he would be willing to do the job. And he hasn't been, allowed to do the job. So that blows my mind when he wants to do something for that little to, help out just because he's a town person. So with that said, also I've been here listening to about getting the truck fixed, and I thought I saw it on the road the other day. I mean, that was supposed to save us $8,000 a month with, the different prices and that. That's around $96,000. That's a lot of money the town would be saving. So we might not have to raise the rates like Mrs. Campbell stated, or, to find out what it's going to be. Even if, lowball it to $6,000, that's still $72,000 coming in a year. Okay, that's a big savings. So those are the things with the transfer station. Then also with Helen Park, like I said before, I'm definitely behind it, but I still see the numbers jumping around. I mean, I looked at the site plan that he did have, and it's a great site plan of the actual 12 by 36. Originally it was 12 by 24, but which is fine. But my thing is, why can't we at least get some estimates on what the septic's going to cost? Because that's where the bigger costs are going to be, the septic, the electric, the well, because all that stuff has gone up. PVC pipe, 2-inch PVC pipe used to be $7 a stick, now it's $22 a stick. So, how much are you going to be putting in the ground and things like that? So the $42,000 that he's saying, it could be $72,000. Nothing against whoever puts a bid in. The material is material. We see it's up 225%. So, I mean, that's something, could we at least get bid marks on those for bidding everything so the project could get going in March? We could, I know it keeps saying the town's going to do the digging and stuff, which is great, but we could be buying supplies or be looking at what the supplies, worst case scenario, could be now and not later. So that's on the Helen Park and then the transfer station. Thank you very much.
Mike McRitchie, Smith Road. I have a statement and I have a question. It's again with the transfer station. The board is raising rates on refuse without knowing if our town employees hauling our truck is going to make an impact on the deficit. It seems like a use tax to me. And my question is, does it make sense to haul the refuse in-house through the end of the year to get a better grip on the costs, or are we just going to keep raising rates and then hope for the best? Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hearing none, I move to close the meeting to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, resolution number 6102, 2021. Amending the Town of Pleasant Valley Transfer Station refuse disposal routes. Whereas the town board has determined that it's necessary and appropriate to amend the town Pleasant Valley Transfer Station refuse disposal rates. Now therefore be resolved, the attached rate sheet, annexed here too, will go into effect on July 1st, 2021, and further be resolved that the annual permit fees will be discounted by 50% for the remaining of the 2021 calendar year, and be it further resolved that the new Town Pleasant Valley Transfer Station refuge disposal rates shall be posted on the town website, and that these rates shall remain in effect until such time as changed by further resolution of the town board.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes. Want to go first?
Well, first of all, I think that it's a terrible mistake to not only raise the rates, but then to tack on this $50 annual fee, because we have an awful lot of residents that they have their garbage picked up curbside, but they use the dump to get rid of old furniture, get rid of old electronics, they want to get rid of old tires. Now, if they have to pay $50 for a couch and then they have to pay $50 for a permit, where's that couch going to most likely end up? On the side of the road. So I think that with charging fees for everything, to add an annual permit fee is a big mistake. We're going to wind up with garbage all over the place. Our highway department is going to have to go pick all this debris up, and then we're going to have to get rid of it at our own cost anyway. And second, the idea was to refurbish the roll-off truck, which I was assured could be done. We could be starting to haul all our own, do our own carting. Before we do any kind of fee increase, how about we hold off till the end of the year? We see how we're doing when we're doing our own carting, and then look at making some adjustments. We're putting a cart in front of the horse here.
I tend to agree. We've been talking about this for quite some time, and we've all done some investigation. I don't want to say that nobody's done their work and their homework. That's not the case. We were also told that the roll-off truck is in working order. It can handle the weight. It can do all those things. It may need some improvements down the line, and the money that we'd be saving by transferring our own garbage could actually roll right back into the truck and fix it up, or maybe go towards the purchase of a slightly used truck that's better conditioned than ours, if need be. We've been talking about these fees back and forth several times, but the original way this was supposed to work was for us to deliver, and Mr. Gary Veter was the first one to mention that from day one. And now that we found out the roll-off truck is usable, and that we did add another person to the highway department to actually do the driving, I say we table this until we get a better grip on what's coming in, what's going out, what we're saving, and then maybe at the end of 6 months, after we're done with our moving the garbage ourselves, we can sit there and figure out what we need to make an adjustment, what kind of fee rate, if we have to, at all. So I think we should just table it for 6 months and let's evaluate what's coming and what's going.
In regards to the truck repair, I talked to the highway superintendent this week, and he was going to, originally when we talked to him, he was going to try to get it up and running by June 1st. Of course, that's passed. So I asked him what's going on with it. He sent out some repair for the hydraulic pistons, but the truck, and the truck is roadworthy, but he has to weld in some cab mounts, which they can do in-house. But he said they've been so busy with the road repair, they just haven't had the time to do it. So I don't know what's going to happen with that.
All right, so again, I mean, here's something that can, and the prices have fluctuated anywhere between, I've heard, $6,000 to $8,000. That's a lot of money that we could save just by delivering it ourselves. So, if anything, let's I don't know what I don't say you force them. Let's get John on the stick.
These rates. Someone mentioned that these rates were just published, but we tabled this last month, or the workshop, correct?
Yes.
So the rates were available. It's not like we did it.
The other thing is it doesn't cost us $8,000 to have the stuff rolled off and trucked.
That's not true. I've heard
No,
three
no, no.
different prices. Hold on.
It's
Anywhere from six.
$215 per roll-off that goes.
Right,
So
and that's
let's
twice a
say-
week. That's twice a week.
Okay, so.
And how many do we have?
Off the top of my head,
Right.
I don't know what it is. But
Okay,
I'm telling
so-
you, our whole bill for the month is 8,000 some odd dollars.
Right.
Right, the whole.
That's what I said,
bill.
8,000 a
But
month.
that's not just the roll-offs, that's what's in it. We pay per ton for everything that goes. We still have to pay per ton. Even if we start to drive this vehicle ourselves, which is a very, very good thing for us to do, and I am wholly behind it, we still have 2 salaries, whether we're paying overtime to somebody right now or not is irrelevant because we have to hire somebody. So we're still paying 2 good salaries every year for 20 hours a week each. So by the time you get done and you add up all these expenses, it's over $55,000 to $60,000 a year. This is going to be a drop in the bucket. And honestly, if these transfer rates had been worked on year by year by year, this wouldn't have sticker shock on it. The reason we have sticker shock tonight is because since 2007, nothing has been done with these rates. All we've done is subtract stuff from the transfer station instead of doing things gradually, which would have been a lot easier for people to stomach in the long run. So that's why this has to be done. And by the way, this is not a new thing. There are a lot of towns that have these stickers that charge a base price to get into their transfer station.
My question is to the town clerk. Mary Beth, since you're the one that's going to be administrating this new program, can your staff handle these permits and, whatever, the stickers for the windows and all that? Can you do that in-house?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can handle it in-house.
And if you remember right,
But I will handle it in-house as long as all money is handled in my office.
correct.
Not at the transfer station, in my office.
If you remember, if people remember right, I proposed this back in November. And everybody said, oh, no, we got to look at it. We've been looking at it for
No,
how long now?
this is the problem. It just keeps getting put off and put off and put off. I remember, honestly, when Mark wanted to change it. So it just keeps getting put off and put off. And this is not one person job. I had Ellen Kuttner help me from the CSC committee. I had Jean Curley help me. Jen has helped me with the typing. This took a lot of time.
No one's taking away from the work.
No. I
Not
don't
at
want
all.
any kind of.
We're not
what I'm
taking away
saying
from the
is
work
that
or any kind of,
that's why
any,
it hasn't been done in the past, is because Mark didn't have any help. So, it's gotta be done. This has to change.
my point is, yes, okay, fine, change it, but change it when you have an absolute baseline, when you actually have the numbers that you need to know. We still don't know what it costs. Right now, we're paying overtime. Right now, there's a sign up there. I'm not even too sure who put the sign up or why they would put that sign up, and it's at $17 an hour. Who authorized that? I mean,
I don't know.
right, I mean, that's something that needs to be discussed by the board to decide what that position's gonna cost. That was just put up there.
but
We
that
have a
has
truck, hold on, we have a
nothing to do
truck,
with this.
we have a truck that can actually deliver the garbage. It can actually do it right now with a couple of improvements, and we can start saving money right away. So my point is, yes, fees should be changed, they should be adjusted, they should be made to work. However, let's get our baseline first. We have no baseline. We're just going to say, let's do it this way, and that's it.
We have a baseline. We've been losing money up there for the last 15 years.
Because we stopped delivering our own garbage. It's as simple as
That's all-
that.
yeah, but that's
It goes
only
back to where it originally was started.
Well, I don't think just because originally it was done that way, that means that when we stopped doing it, we started losing money. I do have a question on this permit. Instead of bickering about the prices, or the fact that we're changing them, I have a question on the prices. Are we gonna charge $30, or is that supposed to be $3 for an additional sticker?
No, 30, because otherwise, you know, somebody, I'm just gonna use Carol as an example. Let's say Carol's at home and she pays for a ticket. If we only charge $5 or $10 for additional tickets, you know what's gonna happen.
He's gonna give it to everybody.
Yeah, because let's say her daughters or sons, whatever she has, lives in Pleasant Valley, and then they're all gonna feed off of that $50 ticket or $30 ticket, depending if she's a senior.
Okay.
So
That's
you can't
the
do it
only
that
thing,
way.
I understand, that's the only, I mean, honestly, I have an issue with 30, like, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you. My 2 cents is telling me that it doesn't cost that much to print a sticker, and I know what it costs to print a sticker, because I'm in that business, but we shouldn't charge somebody $30.
It's not the sticker.
I know it's not the sticker,
It's
I
not
understand the
the
thought
sticker.
process, I
The
do.
sticker is not even on my radar, because it's so expensive.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so here's my point. We can't even come to a conclusion on a sticker. So I'll go one better. Let's take 2 months, once the truck is up and running, whenever that date may be. Whenever John says, hey, we got it running. I thought it was running the other day. I saw it moving snow not too long ago.
No,
it's running.
It's running.
And it runs great from what I'm told. There's a couple of modifications that have to be taken care of, and I believe you mentioned something about a hydraulic or something like that, that if, I couldn't tell you, I'm not a truck guy. I'll let you explain in a minute. But my point, let's take 2 solid months with this thing running. Let's see how much Pleasant Valley saves, okay? And if we're still losing money, I'll be the first one to say, hey, yeah, let's start looking at these fees and let's do them right. Let's take each and every piece of garbage that someone could possibly throw out, from a mouse to a couch, and then let's put a number on each thing. If somebody is, I don't know, abusing the permit, and we find out, then they should be banned from doing it, I guess. I don't know. But we could figure those things out over a 2-month period.
We've been trying to do this for the last...
But we haven't done it with the truck run, and that's been the big
But we
difference.
can't keep waiting.
We can wait. What's the difference if we're waiting now?
It's been since 2007. It's absolutely
Also, getting back to the, changing the subject, getting back to that sign,
Yeah,
17.
who put it up?
I don't know, but Tom was not happy with that.
No, and
He's
he
getting
should not be.
$14.06 an hour.
Don't argue with me, I'm the one who brought it up. I know. I mean, someone just put a sign up, and you're not supposed to do that. You know, I mean, I get the initial want to fix, or want to try and put a patch on this and do that, but let's get the real numbers first. Okay? Let's get somebody back in that position. Okay? I get we want to get it all done. There's really no rush. And I know hasn't been done since 2007. Fine. So what's 2 more months to find out for sure?
I have an idea.
Hey.
What if we split this up? And I say that because thinking about the annual permits to get that off the ground in the next 2 weeks, I don't know. I don't know if that's feasible. And I say that in the sense of, I think we still pass this without the annual permit piece. Because the only fee that really changed was we went up $1 per bag for 33 gallons or less, and we went up $1 per bag for 33 gallons or more. The other fees changed slightly as well, but nothing, I think the sofa went up $5 just because of the weight of it. The tires did come back on the schedule, and I think we need to bring them back on the schedule sooner rather than later, because John, you picked them up on the side of the road.
How many times? I don't know how many there were.
There was more than 10. So,
and let me just say there, again, that is with old rates. They were throwing them on the side of the road.
No, we weren't taking tires all year.
Well, we weren't, right.
So that's why they were on the side of the road.
Well, what was the old rate for a tire? Because I don't see it anywhere.
Well, we removed at the beginning of the year, we removed C&D back in November when we started talking about this. I don't have my bag with me. I came from Newburgh. So.
Because one thing I can tell you is, like, the recycle places
charge you like $5 to $7 for a car or a light truck tire. And I called my buddy who runs an auto repair shop. What's it cost you to get rid of junk tires? $5 a tire for cars and pickup trucks, Heath. Okay. At $30 a tire, we're still going to be finding them on the side of the road.
Well, so the problem was, and I remember specifically asking the highway superintendent, and he told me that we were losing money on tires, right? So that's why we increased the fee, $5 or $10 for the tire. Look,
They do this thing with the tire now, where if you purchase a tire from a company, they will take the one tire back. They will not just take tires for the heck of it.
Oh, I realize that, but I'm talking about what other places are paying to get rid of junk tires. And I can't believe it's costing us anywhere near $30 to get rid of a passenger tire or a light truck tire.
Here's the way I see it, is if we're gonna charge $30 and somebody pays it, we don't have to pick it up on the side of the road to win. If somebody realizes it's cheaper to dispose of it somewhere else, fine. And maybe, hopefully that we accept them again, maybe just people will bring them to us as opposed to, I don't know, throwing them on the side of the road.
I've spent $30 buying tires and put them on my car, okay?
So
To spend $120 to take them off, I wouldn't do it.
Well, no, I mean, so in my mind, I'm not changing all 4 of my tires in my house, right? This is, in my mind, I'm getting rid of household garbage, right? Like I'm removing the tire swing because my kid's now in college. I'm getting rid of that tire for $30. That's how I see this. Like, I'm not thinking about it as I'm not doing my own, like Jim is not gonna bring his truckload of tires to us to get rid of, right? Like, no, right, so.
Not at that price.
But if you have, like, say you're cleaning up your backyard and you come across a tire and don't know what to do with it.
You paint it and make a swing out of it.
Right, there you go, until he goes to college.
Look, we're in the garbage business, folks.
Yep.
And this is what we tried to avoid. When Mark was here, we had this conversation. Bottom line is still, the difference in everything is the one piece that has changed over the years, and that's us not delivering our own garbage. So, again, I'm going to say, let's table this for yet just a couple more months. Let's get an actual readout. Mary Beth has been putting up numbers for us. That's great. I don't know the difference of collecting money there as opposed to back at the clerk's office, how difficult that is or why we should or shouldn't do it. But let's see how much, once the truck is running, how much we save. And then at that time, all of this can go in place. If we need to raise these rates, then we do it. We do it step by step. We're arguing over a $30 tire. I mean, is $30 right? Who knows? He says 5, you say 30.
You're a baseline, okay? I just
Baseline of
found this,
cost.
I thought I had it on my computer and I didn't bring that tonight. The bottom line for 2019, and these figures have changed dramatically.
Did we have a truck running and taking the garbage in 2019?
No, but what
Then
I'm
that's my
talking-
point.
No, but
It doesn't matter what your baseline is now, it's not true.
Okay, John, you know it.
the only thing that's gonna change, Johnny, is the hauling charge, not the actual price to get rid of the garbage, right? So the hauling charge.
The
if they come
hauling
twice a
charges
week-
are enough. It's been said already. The hauling charges are enough. We have the means to haul, let's haul it.
The hauling charges are $215 per haul. We still have to put gas in our truck, we still have to pay our guy.
215,
We
how
still
many,
have to
how
pay
many,
the
how many,
insurance
how
for it.
many, let's do it. You want to be in the garbage business, let's do it. 215, how many containers we have? 4 or 5? One's cardboard, one's regular garbage.
And don't forget the cardboard, we don't charge people to get rid of their stuff, but that does cost us the
It
most
costs
per
money.
pound.
It
Cost
will-
the most per pound.
Okay? How many containers do we have that we have to be moved per week?
I don't know, I don't run the transfer
Do
station.
we have 4? I think we have 4, correct? Thank you. 215 each?
4 of them.
Thank you.
Well, no, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4.
So I'm
So
assuming
let's-
it doesn't need to get emptied every week.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. 250.
Yeah, 215, yeah.
Okay, so that's 860,
2.
just moving them once.
1.
That's just moving them once per week, and they do them
One to
twice.
2 times a week.
1, 2 times a week, so that's 4 of them, right? At $860, twice, comes to 0, 12, 16, that's 1,720. Times 4 comes to approximately $6,000 to $7,000.
That's per month, not per week, John.
No, that's per.
Twice per week,
Yeah.
$215 per container.
Yeah, no, the 1,600 total is per month. It's per month, not per week.
It's not going to make the difference that everybody is thinking that it's going to make. Plus, we have to pay.
Let's try it.
somebody to do
Can we please try it? What's the harm
But we don't
of
even know
trying?
when the truck is gonna get up and running.
Well, then, that's the thing we need to do, is send a memo to Mr. Baxter and say, let's go. That was, the idea was already, it was supposed to be getting done already. It's already a month ago since we actually voted to put somebody on to drive the thing.
Right, but we.
So he couldn't fix it in a month, and they said he could fix it in-house?
The extra person we gave him, though, was a replacement for somebody that was already there.
I
not
asked the
necess-
question in that meeting, I says, are we gonna now have somebody dedicated to drive
Yes,
the road?
and he guaranteed that
said
to us.
yes.
He
Okay.
did guarantee that to us, but don't forget that as the highway superintendent, he has 90 million other things to do, and we gave him one person that he still has a vacancy for another one, so they are behind. They were a whole man down. We just gave him that extra person last month. John's a good guy. I'm sure he will end up hauling all of our garbage for us, but we can't ask him to walk on water.
No, we can't do that. But maybe getting the truck fixed, as was said to do, and assigning one person to drive the truck, I think that we can ask. Yes?
I understand, from my understanding of talking to him, that truck needs a little more repair to make it roadworthy to haul garbage on a regular basis than we thought it did.
He spoke to the mechanic, I spoke to the mechanic, I spoke to John, John showed me, you spoke to the mechanic. There are a couple of things that have to be adjusted, and that's it. But it's running now. So I move to table it.
I would like to see at least, you can take out the permit fees, but I would like to see the increase in the baggage, and like Frank said, there's not a lot of.
There's not a lot of change. The real change, honestly, the real change is that we're decreasing the discount that we give to seniors, but we're increasing the audience in the sense that we're now giving it to active military and veterans, right? So we're increasing the audience, if you will, but we're decreasing the discount that we give them. And I mean, procedurally, John did make a motion, so we should go down that road first before we continue conversation. But I think we passed, I agree with you, I think we passed without the permit fees.
Again, I
So-
make a motion that we table it until we have a real baseline with the truck up and running.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Nay.
Nay.
All right.
So now what are we gonna do?
So I make a motion
That we take out the permit.
that we remove the permit fees for the year, the remainder of 2021.
No, I wouldn't do it for that long.
I would.
I'll second Frank's motion.
This is ridiculous.
I think,
Sorry. Everybody doesn't see the figures like I do. You put me here for a reason. I don't bullshit people.
I do agree, I don't disagree with you, but I think in lieu of all of this, for now, I think I make a motion that we approve this price sheet without the annual permit fees.
I will compromise here and second that motion. Because I am still really, really afraid that throwing in that permit fee, we're going to wind up with all kinds of debris, tires, etc. on the road.
Yeah, we're taking it out. So that the motion's made, seconded?
Yeah, Keith seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Johnny?
No. Nay.
Okay. 4-1.
That's on me.
Okay.
We're good.
Let's get some silver. Okay, resolution number 6106, 2021. Appointment of Fire Advisory Board member. Whereas there now exists a vacancy on the Town of Pleasant Valley Fire Advisory Board for a Fire Advisory Board member to replace the late board member Rick Fay. Whereas Gary Aber has expressed an interest in being appointed and a member of the Fire Advisory Board. Therefore, be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Pleasant Valley does hereby designate and appoint Gary Aber as a member of the Fire Advisory Board to fill a 5-year term effective immediately as follows. Appointment, June 16, 2021. Term expires June 16, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye.
That deserves a round of applause.
There will be more members.
Yeah, there's more members coming down the pike.
And they want 2 alternates.
Yep.
I don't mean to be a pain in the tuchus, but can we backpedal for just a second here? Because I meant to ask this. On the new rates, there's nothing on there for a can of garbage? Was that an oversight, or?
No, it's a bag.
So we're going to charge
The bag
the
and the can was the
as
same.
a can or a bag?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. It got confusing because it was 5 and 7, so I just removed it just to make it easier for people.
Okay, thank you.
Resolution number 6107, 2021, amending resolution number 1016 of 2021, establishing salaries for appointed positions and employees. Whereas on January 6, 2021, at the reorganizational meeting, the town board adopted resolution number 1016, 2021, establishing salaries for appointed positions and employees, which included a schedule of the 2021 positions and pay rates. And whereas it has been discovered there are some pay inequities, and the town board wishes to address these inequities and amend the various employees' pay raises now. Therefore, be it resolved, the resolution number 1016 of 2021 and the next schedule of the 2021 position pay raise as amended as follows. Want me to read those?
Yeah, well, you want me to do it?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Employee Courtney Corshane, old pay rate $16.67 per hour, new pay rate $17.50 per hour. Chrisanne Simone, old pay rate $16.67 per hour, new pay rate $17.50 per hour. Jennifer Brooke Adams, old pay rate $15.15 per hour, new rate $17.50 per hour. Kathy Miller, old rate $16.58 per hour, new rate $17.50 per hour. Maureen Franco. Is that Franco?
Briccio.
Old rate $14.93 per hour, new rate $17.50 an hour. Thomas Forchette, old rate $14.06 per hour, new rate $17.50 per hour. Beth Ann Mona, old rate $16.16 per hour, new rate $17.50. Yvette Walton, old rates $18.36 per hour, new rate $19.36 per hour.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes, considering the investigation going on right now and just the circus that's going on in the town hall right now, I don't think this is a time to be dealing with this, and I would like to, just the atmosphere is not right, and I would like to make a motion that we table this for at least 1 month.
A second.
Okay, all in favor of tabling?
Nay.
Nay.
Aye.
Okay, let's get on with the any more discussion on the resolution?
Yeah, I want everyone to understand what we're really doing. We were approached by some employees, some of which have been here for 9 years, some of which have been here for 2, some of which have been here for 5, and kind of questioning why some of their coworkers that have been here for 9 years are making less than Dunkin' Donuts employees, but yet we're hiring people at $16.50 or $17 an hour. So we talked as a board, and this is what we felt was what it made sense. All of them
agreed to it.
All of them agreed to it, and all of them really they do the same style of work in the town here. Whether it be Chrisanne's pushing building permits and Jen is doing garbage permits, it's really they all sit behind a computer in the same style of work for everyone that doesn't see what they actually do. So that's we made this, in retrospect, to really kind of make some employees happy, as well as, once minimum wage changes, we would have to change people's pay regardless, because, we have people that were, like Tom Forget was making $14.06, which I really didn't realize until this all came out, so. That's all.
Okay, the motion made.
Yep, and seconded.
Okay, let's do a roll call.
Councilwoman Albrecht.
Aye.
Councilman Delvecchio.
I abstain.
Councilman Mazzella.
Aye.
Councilman O'Hanlon.
Abstain for the reasons I stated earlier.
Supervisor Szynski.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Resolution number 6108, 2021, authorizing contract for tent rental for Pleasant Valley Bicentennial Weekend. Whereas the Town Board of Town of Pleasant Valley solicited proposals from 3 qualified contractors for tent rental of tents and other necessary items for the Town of Pleasant Valley Bicentennial Weekend. And whereas the Town Board received 3 proposals, and whereas Matt Cantel, is that right, Cantel? Cantelli, Tent Rentals submitted a proposal under the purchase under 7957-3 in response to the request for proposals, and whereas Matt Cantelli, Tent Rentals, submitted a proposal in the amount of $4,466.91, and whereas the Town Board of Town of Pleasant Valley is desirous of awarding the contract to Matt Cantelli, Tent Rentals, now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Pleasant Valley hereby intends to award the contract for the rental of tents and other necessary items for the 2021 Town of Pleasant Valley Bicentennial Weekend to Matt Cantelli, Tent Rentals, in the amount of $4,466.91, and therefore further be it resolved, the Town Supervisor and hereby is authorized to direct and execute a contract in accordance with the purchase order 7957-3.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. I think that it was you were going to do the fireworks, but they didn't.
Fireworks, we have one, which we are very comfortable with, and has been used several times in the past. Give or take a year or two, for whatever reason, they were outbid one year, and they won the bid one year. That would be the Legion fireworks. They're on hold. We're waiting for at least one more bid to come in so that we can actually do this correctly. So we'll have to hold off on the fireworks at least one more week.
That's all right.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not that bad, so.
Just, if we're going to do it next week, just make sure we amend the special
Yeah,
meeting notice.
if they get it in, we have to do that.
Yeah.
I gotta wait till they get it in.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Okay, Town Board Resolution 6110, 2021, authorizing the formation of a bicentennial committee and appointing its members. Whereas the Town Board has formed the Bicentennial Events Committee to assist with the planning and implementation of the town celebration of its bicentennial, and whereas while the committee has been informally meeting, it is desirous of receiving official recognition from the town, and therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Pleasant Valley does hereby authorize the Pleasant Valley Bicentennial Committee, who shall assist the town in planning, coordination, and management of the town celebration of its bicentennial, and resolved that the following individual to the Bicentennial Committee with a term expiring December 31st, 2021. Committee members: Terry Albrecht, Dale Taylor, Terry McCormick, Caroline Dolphy, Fred Schaefer, Bill Geerlings, Mary Meyer, Kathy Kruger, Justin Conklin, Amy Ricard, Darren Fairley, Deborah Secor, Dave Kruger, Gary Beater, Randa Montgomery, Rana, Jim Donick, and Michael Schroeder.
So moved.
Second.
Before we do this, I'd like to offer an amendment, okay? 2 weeks ago, if you remember, a member of the audience, I'll name his name, Michael Schroeder, asked us all to resign. And I feel that his personality and character would not make a valued member of this important bicentennial committee. So therefore, I'll make an amendment to take his name off.
I will second that, knowing that, I mean, yes, he asked every single one of us to resign last week, and I can't imagine then how we could just, in good faith, appoint him to this committee.
Hold on. You asked Frank Szynski to resign.
And I then apologized to him,
All right,
in public and in private.
So let's get the guy a chance to, if that's the case. You know, things get heated here. We all have these moments. I don't understand. He would be a very valuable person for the fact that we have fire department stuff that has to be taken care of.
And we have a commissioner, Bill Geerlings, who's on that committee.
And he's also part of it. The two of them are working together in concert. So, I mean,
I just
one of the
feel
reasons why a lot of people did not want their names mentioned on this thing is so that they didn't have any kind of
Well, let's also go one further with, so I'm personal friends with Amy Ricard. She had no clue that she was being appointed to this committee tonight.
This was the list I was given. Dave, do you
So
want to?
maybe we table this until we get a valid list.
We have a valid list. Dave, you want to?
Jim Donick had given me her name. I met her at our last meeting. She said she was eager to join. So.
She said to me, her exact text message to me was, I told him, no, I do not have the time, and
Told who?
Jim. I'm assuming when she said him, she meant Jim. So, but this was 3 weeks ago. And I said to her, so, but we're appointing you tonight, and she goes, no, I said no. So.
Last I heard in this room, Jim Donick introduced me to her and said she'd be willing to help us.
She wanted to help, I think she wanted to be involved with whatever the Boy Scouts were if they were gonna be involved in some flag thing, because her kids are in Boy Scouts, but she didn't want to be on the committee, and she made that painfully aware, which is.
The cemetery tour, her scouts had a dry run cemetery tour by Jim Donick. And apparently it went over very well. I think the confusion may be some people show up in the meeting and they're kind of the liaison to another group.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want to be official committee members.
That's why I'd like to ask our attorney, do we really have to have these folks named? Because they do come and go as necessary. They're not necessarily on a committee. Whereas we had the officers were the most important people, which are the chairperson, the treasurer, and the secretary.
So there needs to be a committee with appointed committee members who will be the bicentennial committee. There could be an advisory committee, or there could be just volunteers, but the formation of the committee has to include those members that are going to be on the committee, and it has to be recognized by the town. That doesn't preclude from, obviously, much larger group of people who will volunteer and assist and maybe advise or whatnot, but the committee is the committee. The committee is appointed by the town board.
So
just maybe there's a clarification between everybody that's going to assist and who is the bicentennial actual committee.
Again, the motion was made to remove Michael Schroeder from the committee. It was seconded.
Yep.
let's have a roll call vote.
Roll call.
Well, can I interject real quick? Yeah, go ahead. Can I ask you to remember, I just think we should not appoint Amy if she doesn't want to be on this as well. So can you remove Mike Schroeder and Amy?
I think I'd do each one individually.
We got to do
for
each one
different
individually.
reasons.
Can Frank amend his motion to remove, like, if we're going to remove?
Yeah, I mean, you can make a motion to strike both of them.
Yeah, let's amend to strike both, just for the pure fact that Amy, I know, does not want to be on this committee. I mean, no offense to anybody, but she.
I'll make a motion to remove Michael Schroeder and Amy
Ricard. I'll second that motion.
Okay. Let's do a roll call.
Councilwoman Albrecht. Aye. Councilman Delvecchio.
Nay.
Councilman Musella.
Aye.
Councilman O'Hanlon.
Nay.
Supervisor Szynski.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, resolution number 61.
Hold on a second. We got to vote on.
We've got to vote to accept it now. We just amended it. Yeah, I was waiting for that.
All right.
And originally that was John Kibitsky.
Johnny Keith made the original motion to So, yeah.
So we have to do it again, right? So I move that we approve the remaining people that are left.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Let's do a roll call again.
I'll second Johnny's second motion.
Okay, so Johnny,
I know.
okay, so Councilwoman Palmer, Councilman Delvecchio,
Aye.
Councilman Mazzone,
Aye.
Councilman O'Hanlon,
Aye.
Supervisor Szynski.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay.
You want to do this one?
Oh, the record, go ahead.
Yeah. All right, Town Board Resolution 6109 of 2021, appointing members to the Recreation Committee. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Pleasant Valley created a Recreation Committee via Resolution 57 of 2012, and whereas that committee will help with the brainstorming of new ideas and programs for the Recreation Department, and whereas there is a current Recreation Committee vacancy, and whereas the Town Board of the Town of Pleasant Valley would like to fill that vacancy, so therefore be it resolved that the following individual are hereby appointed to the Recreation Committee for the term set forth herein. Joy Dyson, her term will expire December 31st of 2026.
So moved.
Second? You can have that. Any discussion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Summer camp.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Town Board Resolution 6111 of 2021, appointment of 2021 Town of Pleasant Valley Summer Camp. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Pleasant Valley hereby appoints the following 2021 camp staff. Angelina Loria? Okay. Okay. At $12.50 an hour. I'll make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now we'll get Okay, 6112-2021. Amending the 2021 general fund budget transfer of funds. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Pleasant Valley has expenditures for the 2021 adopted budget line items that will exceed the amount available in such budget lines, and whereas the bookkeeper finds necessary to amend the 2021 adopted budget to meet these expenses, and whereas the Town of Pleasant Valley has funds available in other lines and needs to transfer such funds to provide for such expenditure, now therefore be resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Pleasant Valley hereby authorizes, empowers, and directs the supervisor to amend the town 2020 adopted budget as follows. Appropriations account A, 8010-400, zoning contractual expense, increase $38,000. Account DA 5148-400, other government services, increase $11,100. Account A, 8010-100, zoning personnel expense, $38,000. Account DA 1541-486, highway salt, decrease $11,000.
So moved.
Discussion?
Yeah, just a couple of clarifications. What is other government services?
That's just, that's a good question.
But there's more. I mean, zoning personal expense?
It's personnel.
Personnel.
Personnel, I'm sorry. I was stuck on government services. I didn't
With
see
that
personnel.
one, we had budgeted for personnel on the anticipation that we were going to get a full-time zoning administrator. Obviously, that didn't happen, so we're going to take the money out of that and put it into the other account, so we can pay the Gary back.
So we're taking, we don't have a full-time zoning administrator, but we're taking that money to pay Mr. Gary Beck, who is not a full-time zoning,
No,
is he part-time?
he's a contractor.
He's a contractor. Are we allowed to have a contractor? Ah. Why are we making him the building inspector?
Well, Paul, I think you can address that, correct?
Yeah, Paul. How we doing, Paul? You with us?
I know. So, the question is, why do we have a building, why is it being made?
Why do we have a building thing, anything?
Well, so pursuant.
Why do we have a zoning department?
Well, so pursuant to the code of Pleasant Valley and town law, the town has to have a building inspector.
Right.
So that is a position that has to be filled pursuant to civil service. So Mr. Beck is going to be, my understanding is going to be appointed as a building inspector. And as a building inspector, he can also cover the zoning administration as a zoning administrator. And they're, part of his services will be contracted out, paid through contract.
So we can't have him as a contractor, that's not right? But we can have him
Town
as a
has to have a
building.
building inspector,
I get we have to have a building inspector, I understand.
not by contract.
But the zoning administrator can be, that's a competitive position, is it not?
A zoning administrator is a competitive position, correct.
Okay.
But there is a position, generally speaking, with civil service, which is building inspector / zoning administrator. So the building inspector can also perform the functions of the zoning administrator.
So what is Gary Beck?
He's going to be the building inspector / zoning administrator, which is a civil service type.
I think we're a little off topic, though. That's not what this is. This is.
I know, I'm just confused.
I think we're gonna do a dive or deep into that next week, is what I.
But my understanding, and again, I'm relatively new to this and not intimately familiar with it, but my understanding is in addition to that, Mr. Bex has a company which provides a contractual service to the town.
C3. Right. Yeah, so this is not his hiring or fire or anything to do with really him. We're moving money to pay some bills, I think is what this is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other government services, we haven't figured that out yet?
Well, if you want, I can call Melanie and ask her, but I don't particularly know right now.
It's a DA. It's a highway fund. No, we're moving money into a highway fund. A DA is a highway fund.
It appears just from the line items, it's from one line item in the highway fund to another. So
Right.
one line was overspent, and there appears excess money in the salt.
But I'm just looking for a definition as to what.
No, I wonder if that other government service, I wonder if that's where John's software comes out of. Let me, son of a gun.
So we didn't use enough salt, we overpaid 11,000, we have 11,100 over the top because we didn't use as much salt, is that correct? And we're moving into other government services. What are those? And I think that needs to be a little bit more specific.
Well, that's the line. I just shot a text to the highway superintendent, but let's see if he can answer. I don't know what that is. And I mean, do you want to table this until he gets back to us?
That'd be good.
Sounds like a good idea.
I mean,
just to be more specific,
no,
I
agree.
think that's.
I mean, it is a little vague. I do agree with you.
It's a lot vague.
But I just, at the end of the day, though, I'm almost positive that we wouldn't have this if this didn't need to be done.
I get that.
So I'm just.
Wait a minute, I don't know what the other, this was done because we needed to transfer money to pay for Optimum.
Oh, no. Is the other government services, is this the, sorry. This, the plowing, the winter plowing.
Could be,
This
yes.
is to cover, we got a bill for about $11,000 from Dutchess County DOT.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yes, sorry, it just took a minute.
Yeah, what it was, John, is that
Yeah.
we had the COVID outbreak up here, we had to outsource to the county, and they billed us $11,100.
Okay,
Yeah,
I do
and-
remember reading and
Yeah,
signing
John
that
literally
voucher
just texted
today.
me to
Yeah.
pay for the county during COVID.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what.
And the other one was for to cover the zoning. We had money in for salaries, now we're covering the expense, okay, that's what it was.
Thank you.
You got it?
Got it.
All right.
Gotcha. Okay. All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now, this is another good one.
There we go. Thanks.
6113, 2021, authorizing expenditure in the amount not to exceed $361,620 for improvements at the Helen Aldrich Park / Baker Field. Whereas the town board owns recreational lands known as Helen Aldrich Park, Baker Field, located at 27 Hibernia Road, Saw Point, and whereas the town desires to install a standalone bathhouse, bathroom facilities, which will include drinking water, a drinking water well, a subsurface disposal system, septic tank and leach field, with a concession stand at Helen Aldrich Park, Baker Field. And whereas the cost of improvements is estimated to be $361,620, and whereas the total anticipated project cost of $361,620 will be financed with funds from the Recreation Trust Parkland, and whereas it has been determined that a transfer of the amount of $10,000 into the Recreational Trust Parkland will be necessary in order to fund the total project cost of $361,620, and whereas the town board has agreed that this is in the best interest of the town to authorize and transfer, whereas the town board has determined the improvement of type 2 action as defined by 6 NYCRR 617.5 parentheses C parentheses 9, and accordingly the town board hereby expressly determines that this action is not an action that requires environmental review pursuant to the provisions of the New York State Environmental Control Quality Review Act, or pursuant to 6 NYCRR Part 617. Now therefore be resolved, the town board hereby authorizes the following budget line transfer. Amount $10,000 from A9000 appropriated fund balance CM 200 Recreation Trust. Resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the maximum expenditure of the $361,620 to pay for the improvements at Helen Aldrich Park, Baker Field, including related professional fees and contingency expenses from the Recreational Trust Fund Parkland, CM 0200.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Kidding me? Of course. Mr. Ackerman?
Yes.
So this is no longer a permissive referendum. It doesn't have to go through a permissive referendum, correct?
That's correct. Expenditures from the Recreation Trust Fund, which is funded by subdivisions, payments in lieu of recreation fees for subdivisions. It's governed by town zoning code and by general municipal law, so long as the funds, which can only be used for capital improvements to recreation facilities, as long as it's being used for that, it is not subject to permissive referendum.
So this money now will deplete that fund, correct?
Well, yes, in fact, you're also using $10,000.
Now we have to take that. We have to take money from somewhere else and put
from your fund balance.
I think it's from fund balance.
Right.
From the fund balance over to this, and that will deplete that fund altogether. Yes or no?
And on paper, yes,
Okay.
but inherently, there is enough contingency built into that plan that if we don't need it, we won't use it.
Well, we don't know that without bids, and if you put that kind of money out in the middle of it to everybody, I don't know, if I was a contractor and I was listening to this home at my couch, I'd be like, $460,000, or what is it altogether, $361,000? I think that's going to be pretty close to what my bid will be. So I don't know if we wanted to do that, but that's how we do it. So there's nothing left in the fund at all for any kind of improvements to Bower Park?
Well, just to
Katie Field, to Rettle Park, or the mill site at this point?
Just remember but this improvement fund can only be used for capital improvements or not, like, say at Helen Aldrich Park, we need to replace, which we eventually will need to, we'll need to replace the playground there. This cannot be used for that because we're replacing something with it. It's not a full-fledged capital improvement. If I'm not, that is correct. Okay, thank you.
So like a gate maybe at Bower Park that, to stop everybody from going in and vandalizing, that they've been doing pretty regular, but was a real bad one not too many years back. If we had a nice, I don't know, arm that electronically closed and at a certain time at night that could let people out, but nobody left can come back in at a certain time. That would be a capital improvement, right?
It would be.
Right, so that's out.
So, but just remember that you were on the board when you tried to put that in.
No,
and it
no,
never
we
went.
got all kinds of bids at that, not bids, but prices at that time, and then I guess we changed. So it was changed in midstream, so.
No, we will.
Yeah. All right, I just want to be clear that that
just remember-
this will totally deplete that fund.
But just remember
So
as well.
if there's any kind of capital improvement that we want to do in the future, where do we get that money from at that point?
Yeah.
I'm guessing now we should really put in for some of those grants, right, Mr. Sagliano?
I'm sorry, sir.
We should start putting in for those grants for any kind of,
You should definitely investigate it. We're ready to help.
thank you.
So.
Plan on doing that.
So there's a second rec account, just so everyone understands as well, that has 270 whatever thousand in it, right?
280.
280, sorry, I'm a little low. But just remember that exactly 10 years ago, I'm sure that the same argument was being had in this room, because Don, you voted to spend $45,000 on the rec master plan, which puts that bathroom right, so we're just 10 years behind the times.
So,
Excuse me, Council, are you addressing me?
No, I was just mentioning that you voted for the rec master plan, which we're putting the bathroom where you voted to put it.
I believe that, excuse me, Mr. Supervisor, am I allowed to speak?
Go ahead.
I believe that master plan also was awarded a first prize from the New York State Department of Parks and Recreation. Yes, I did vote for it.
I'm saying it was a good, I mean, the rec committee's looking through it. We like the 90% of what's in it, right? Because, I mean, the other 10% is stuff that has changed in the years, for the past 10 years.
but you did say these to be updated.
Well, no,
So maybe it's not right
I did,
now.
because we really need to, we as a board really need to kind of get on some page and really talk about Rettle Park as a park and a real location for things.
That's why this bathroom, if anything, should be right at the end of Rettle Park, and you could start that. And that's where most of the activity for most of our soccer, I believe, which is doing great,
How
would
long,
have.
how long has Rettle Park been in existence? 30 years? And nothing's been done, so you're gonna wait another 30 years to do something?
Rettle
We got
Park-
it
I'm
planned
saying
out.
this, I just said.
What have we done, John,
I
in the
just
last
said-
20 years to do it?
Frank, you've been here for all of it.
And guess what? When I was playing Little League about 75 years ago, we had the same stuff we have now.
My point is, that bathroom technically should be over at Rettle Park, where most of the activities.
We should have a bathroom somewhere. You gotta start somewhere.
Oh, someday, all right,
Yeah.
all right,
No, we
so,
wanna get this going now.
but this is not Rettle Park.
Well,
This is not Rettle Park.
It's not Rettle Park, but it's a park that we already own. It's a park that we need to put
We
money
own
into.
Rettle Park too.
Yeah, but we've already got infrastructure up there. We've got parking, we've got ball fields, we've got.
Go ahead, pass it. What you gotta do?
Roll call?
Yes, roll call.
Councilwoman Allred. Councilman Del Vecchio.
Hey,
Councilman Mazzella.
Aye.
Councilman O'Hanlon. Sorry.
Nay.
Nay.
Supervisor Szynski.
Aye.
Carries.
Okay. Resolution number 6114, 2021, authorizing payment of abstract number 6 of 2021. Whereas the Town of Pleasant Valley Town Board has audited the bills presented by the town clerk, and an abstract has been complied. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board hereby authorizes the town supervisor to pay all claims as follows. Abstract 6 of 2021, general fund claims, $100,219.49. Abstract number 6 of 2021, highway fund claims, $51,390.11. Abstract number 6, ambulance, $13,420. Abstract number 6 of 2021, street lights, $3,809.53. And abstract number 6, 2021, capital project, $27,860.
So moved.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Resolution number 6115, 2021, authorizing payment of abstract number 6 of 2021, whereas the Town of Pleasant Valley Town Board has audited the bills presented for consultant escrow fees as specified by the Town Code 82-15, 98-91, and so forth by the Town Clerk, and an abstract has been complied, and now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board hereby authorizes the Town Supervisor to pay all claims as follows. Abstract 6 of 2021, Planning and Zoning escrow, $6,635.52.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
No discussion. Okay, so the last item is the discussion of a vacancy for the court officer to authorize the town clerk to advertise for that position.
Yeah. I mean, John's... John McNair's retiring.
Right.
John McNair. So we needed a motion.
Well, so why don't we have her advertise for both the court officer and for the transfer station?
Okay.
We already did the transfer station twice.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
nothing.
So we can only do the court officer.
Well, where did you do the face? Okay, so it was only done on Facebook.
All right,
twice.
well, but can we at least take the sign down, because we really shouldn't be doing it that way.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That needs to go by. There's a sign right next to Tommy's face. As soon as you see it, talk to Tommy in the booth, right next to him, it says, help wanted, $17 an hour.
I wonder if it was the guys that don't want to work on weekends anymore. I wonder if it was I mean, just as a joke, I wonder if it was the guys that don't want to work weekends anymore.
I can't imagine they wouldn't want to work.
No, I mean either, but I don't know. I don't know who did it, but it's
So
fine.
let's get that down first, and we're going to advertise for a court officer, right? So
Yes.
let's do that, I guess.
Yeah. So
Authorize the town clerk to advertise.
So David Sears provided me with a description, the job description of court officer, because I didn't know what to put maybe, just take a look at it.
All right. So I'll make a motion to allow you to advertise for court officer and transfer, or just do the court officer?
Just do court officer.
Just court officer. Fine.
Second.
2 weeks.
For 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks.
Usually I do 2
2 weeks.
2 weeks. That's fine.
We got a motion, we got a second.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay. So,
So we really need to do one for the transfer station too.
And do one for the transfer
okay,
station.
so I'll make a second motion that you advertise for the vacant position at the transfer station
So what we're doing,
for another 2 weeks.
well, we're still paying the double time.
2 weeks on it.
Yep. Yep. I need a second though.
Just wait a minute.
Second.
Wait a minute, before we do this. Why don't we have Butch Gardner that we can pay? He's off to do it. Do we have to go out?
He doesn't want to do it at that rate.
He doesn't want to do it at the $17 an
Oh,
hour.
he doesn't want to do it that, okay.
$17 an hour.
Well, then let's do
He's
it
already
that way.
dismissed.
All in favor?
What? I get that, but what did he say that he wanted to do it at?
20, what was it,
24.
$22 an hour?
And what are we paying these gentlemen from the transfer station that are working overtime?
Their rate, whatever their overtime rate is.
It's a lot.
Right, it's more than 20.
Well, it's more than $21.50 or whatever it is. 22.
More like $40.
I mean, if the gentleman wants to do it,
Yeah,
and
that's
he
what
puts
I
it at that
thought,
rate, and then we advertise it,
Honestly, I don't think, we should hire Butch until we find somebody at $17 an hour.
absolutely.
Well, that's if he wants time.
That's, no one's, I think, presented it to Butch that way.
How about we do this?
Take
Why
it.
don't I reach out to Butch and see if he would like to do it when he originally said it, and I'll get back to you and let you know And then we can go from there.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Might as well. You
Might as well advertise, still advertise, yeah. Because if we're, I mean, honestly, I don't think he's gonna wanna do, when the last time I talked to Butch, I don't think he's gonna wanna do this permanently. I think he's willing to do it to help out the town, right? So we'll advertise, we'll stop paying overtime, it's a win-win.
Okay, I think we've got a motion and a second to
All in
advertise
favor?
for transfer station, right?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else before we open it again?
I don't have anything else. No?
I make a motion to open the meeting to the public for anything.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good evening, Michael McCormick, 1218 Bull's Head Road, Clinton Corners, New York. I'm not a resident of Pleasant Valley, but I'm here just to observe, and I want to just ask the board a question. What I saw this evening, I'm also the Republican chair in Dutchess County, and Michael Schroeder is our Pleasant Valley chair for the Republican Party. So what I hear tonight was I saw something that really disturbed me. That being that you took off a man, Michael Schroeder, off a potential committee because of one reason. Because he talked about 3 of the members of this board that you didn't like. Okay, that's fine. But you took away his freedom of speech by taking him off that committee. That's a constitutional act. You violated his civil rights by doing such. I really think that you all should reconsider what you just did, because it's really just plain wrong. It's against the Constitution. He had the right to say what he did. You may not have liked it. That's all fine and well and good. That's your prerogative. That's your right. But for one reason, what I heard was, because of what he said, you took him off, you did not consider him for the committee. Really think about what you just did. That's really not right to Michael. It's really not American. It's really not, in my thoughts, as the way a public official should act, because you didn't like what he did. Not right, really wrong. You should think about what you just did and reconsider what you should do with that position. Thank you.
In light of that, and in goodwill, good faith with the Constitution, I make a motion we put him back on the committee.
I'll second it.
Hold on. I'd like to hear your opinion on this one.
Well, just procedurally, a motion can be reconsidered, but it has to be somebody from the prevailing party. So it would be somebody, so the motion passed, so somebody who voted to remove him would have to make a motion to reconsider.
Thank you, okay. Thank you very much.
Well, we have to, in order to do that, we can't do it now because you have to go back in session.
Okay. So we're still open to the public.
We're still open, yeah.
Carol Campbell, 122 Marshall. I have to ask a procedural question of maybe the attorney can help. I support raises for the people that work for us. I'm not against this with my procedural question. But I don't think you can increase rates mid-year when a budget was already set. I don't believe that you can change salaries mid-year. So I just bring that up as a point of reference. Number 2, I feel in the interest of transparency, the board should provide the revenue and expenses on the compactor year to date. Okay, revenues and expenses. Number 3, the town zoning administrator was supposed to attend the meeting tonight. I don't see him. I've been talking about the current town zoning administrator since 2020. I was against his appointment. I pointed out at a meeting that his appointment didn't fit with civil service. I hear that Dutchess County personnel was against it and has informed the board that he should be gone. That was 2 months ago. He's still here. I'd like to know what's going on. I watched tonight what I think was money being put in for him to be the building inspector when he hasn't even been appointed yet. The old saying comes back to, we're putting the cart in front of the horse. I know you get tired of hearing me say it, but that's what's happening. The last thing I want to talk about is if the compactor fees were on the website, I couldn't find them. I saw on Facebook that someone helped Councilman Mazzella make much-needed changes to our town website at no charge. She's offered her service to the town for a reasonable fee to give us a website that is current and usable. Please consider the offer. The last webmaster resigned at the end of 2020, and we're still waiting for a website that is up to date and has the necessary information. Quite frankly, it's embarrassing.
Gary Veeder, South Point Turnpike, Pleasant Valley. Couple things not on the agenda, which seem to have kind of disappeared, or I have no idea what's going on. New teaming. I brought that up here. I had 4 blank stares. Frank Zazinski knew about it, but the rest of you didn't. I understand there were meetings there. And in addition, I heard that the zoning building inspector said they needed to come down and get building permits. Building permits are the least of that problem. That is an illegal use on a property. You don't give a building permit to somebody that's using it illegally. You just don't do it. Proposed new town hall for sale. I guess that's kind of ambiguous, but if it is for sale, I hear no. Everybody says that this one is outlasted its usefulness. Let's have a proposal for something before we sell something. You approved a law for Pleasant Valley law for workplace violence. Not a bad law, but I can't find it in the code or online anywhere. I don't know where that is. I haven't been able to read it.
I can email it to you.
Hmm?
I can email it to you if you want. I mean, I have a copy of it, but I don't know why it's.
I'm sure you do, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So.
Okay.
Aldridge Park. We're depleting total capital fund balance. A permissive referendum was approved. Councilman Mazzella objected to it through the Supreme Court. Supreme Court validated it, and then you subsequently withdrew that motion and found a way to get it without need of a permissive referendum. I would really think that's a slap in the face for people that went around lawfully and made their opinion.
Scott Cookingham, 99 West Road. Going off of what Mr. McCormick said about Michael Schroeder knowing him in the fire department and stuff, I still also think it should be re-looked up, because I've been here with meetings where Frank Mazzella literally called out Frank, wanted him to quit. He's called out DeVecchio, wanted him to quit. He's gone against Mrs. Kruger and went against her right at the, town highway department there when she was nicely going around with her petition, and he's still able to be on things, because he's on the workplace violence, I thought. And that's a person that's literally latched out in front of the public. And it's been recorded. So I know Michael Schroeder got hot, but he wants change. Secondly, with going on at Helen Aldridge Park there, it was stated that there's an additional $280,000 that's in the rec park fund. So then that's stuff that we can do with fixing the other parks and stuff then? Okay. Because I was told by, when I was going out knocking on doors, 2 family members stated the slide up at Helen Aldridge Park is cracked and broke, and then it stated that the basketball courts there's some bees nest, and there's one of the nets is messed up. So what has to be done to get that brought up?
Slide's already been fixed.
Okay.
Been removed because we can't find a
Right.
replacement.
Okay.
So I spent a Sunday removed with Frank. Actually, him and I removed the footings for the old slide and covered the hole.
Okay.
With some plastic until we can figure out really a more permanent solution.
But
and
there's a hole up there?
no.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's been covered.
Okay.
And the basketball courts were just cleaned.
Okay.
Somebody-
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago, so that's, I'm just stating. Okay. Thank you.
Kathy Kruger, 37 Rawls Road. Yes, the whole Ellen Aldridge Park, it's sad that we're depleting the whole entire fund, and we're using an additional $10,000. Again, if we have this money sitting in another account, why does Bauer Park not have any amenities? Why, in God's name, does Katie look the way it does? When we were over there looking for Pleasant Valley Weekend for the bicentennial, it's embarrassing to look at that tennis court. It's embarrassing to look at the basketball court. The pavilion hasn't been touched in years. You're sitting on all that money and doing absolutely nothing with it. That's a crime. But yet you're going to put a bathroom at Helen Aldridge and pay more than what we've got in our fund. And you've got things that you have to replace in addition at Helen Aldridge. I don't understand what's going on.
It's been stated.
Okay, fine. But you're sitting here, what, $260,000, and you're doing nothing with it with the other parks in our town. We've got Rattle, we've got the Mills site, and you're doing nothing.
Come to a rec committee meeting, Kathy. I challenge you to come to a rec committee meeting.
Well, no, but I want to know I see what's at Katie, and I see what's at the Mills site, which is beautiful. But I see what's at Bauer, and we don't have electric at Bauer. There are so many things we don't have, but you're spending everything, and in addition, you're going to spend more at the master plan at Helen Aldrich. I think that's pretty sad. We're never going to agree on that, and you already told me you're never going to speak to me again. I'm surprised you're even talking to me right now. Back to Mr. Schroeder. That's a crime. I've been on that. You took away my First Amendment right when you told me that the town attorney told you, and I have it in my text, that it was illegal for me to be there at the town transfer station collecting those signatures, and you told me that my signatures would not be valid and I had to leave. I would like to know here and now, what is the truth about that? What is the truth? Is that what the town attorney told you? He's sitting right here. I've got you both together. I've asked for months. I want to know what the truth is and why were my First Amendment rights taken away? You just took Mr. Schroeder's away. This seems to be something that the board loves to do. I want to know what the truth is. That is not, you talk about transparency and honesty. Please be honest and transparent with me.
I was honest with you with what I said to you. That's what I was told on the phone.
Can I interject into this?
Yeah, please do.
So, there was a conversation, which I'm not going to get involved in, it was attorney-client conversation with...
Attorney-client?
That's correct.
He's your client?
That's correct. The town board is my client. Okay, there was a conversation. There may have been some misunderstanding of the circumstances.
He pays you to,
Not out of my pocket, no.
okay, all right.
The town board is a client of mine. They seek legal advice from me. It's protected. We had a conversation. There may have been a misunderstanding of actually the circumstances that was going on, and it may be reported. That's it, okay? There was nothing nefarious. There was nothing.
But my First Amendment rights were taken away. That's pretty,
I disagree with that.
I was told it was illegal for me to be there. I mean, those were your words. People heard it. Lots of people heard it. Misunderstanding? That's a lawyer thing.
Anyone else? Okay.
Mike McRitchie, 70 Smith Road. I would just ask if you would please reconsider reinstating Mr. Schroeder.
At next meeting, definitely.
Thank you much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Anyone else?
Does anybody else want to speak?
No one else wants to speak?
So hearing none?
Oh.
Oh, okay, okay.
Phil Apicino, Ravine Road. Just something quick on the fund for the recreation. Last year, there was a letter submitted asking for a gate and some speed bumps on Bower Park. And I think it was too late to get the money in, but then I got an email from Mary Beth saying the speed bumps were going to be put in this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, but with COVID, everything kind of got shifted back.
Okay. No, I just want to make sure that money was still allotted.
No, if I'm not mistaken, Sandy, the speed
Yeah.
bumps for Bauer, did you purchase them, yes? Or you were going to?
We had a price.
Yeah, we had a price, but it was like Mary had said that
With COVID and
Okay.
everything.
Okay, and then if I remember right, when the first proposal was made for the Helen Aldrich Park, the concession stand was in Phase 2. I don't think it was in that original money.
No, that was the pavilion that was in phase two.
The pavilion was in phase 2. The idea was that the idea is that if you go, say Little League's going to...
No, I understand. I just wanted to see if there was extra money in there and it wasn't presented at the time.
Oh, no, I think we were unclear, at the time, I think even I was unclear
Right.
as to what we really were going to build, so.
Okay.
All right, last thing. Yeah, sure. Here, pass these down. I'll give you 3.
I want to just bring this up again. This is something that came up, an accident that occurred on 44 and North Avenue between a dump truck and a vehicle. The dump truck was heading west, and it went to turn onto North Avenue, take a right, but it was cited for taking a right turn out of the left turn lane. There was video surveillance, according to that report. I was behind vehicles today going down North Avenue and in that direction where I'm seeing that, and the problem is that intersection just can't handle those trucks. And this wasn't even a big tractor trailer. But in order for them to make the turn onto North Avenue, they have to swing into that left turn lane. There's a diagram in the back there, it shows it very clearly. And what I'm concerned about is, I travel down North Avenue every day in the hamlet, and when those big trucks are traveling there, it's hard for them to stay without even hitting the center line a little bit, because they're trying to stay away from the sidewalk, I'm sure, when there's people walking on that sidewalk, because it's a very tight road. School getting out, construction's very busy right now. I really think it's something we should look at. I know residents have brought it up a couple of times. Maybe you can contact the sheriff's department or the state police. Maybe they can start giving some tickets out there, see if they can take an alternate route. but it is a very hard turn to make, and I'm not sure if they can even do it without, a violation of traffic laws. Thank you.
I just wanted to make one comment with this referendum petition. We had over 300 signatures in less than 2 weeks, was it? 314 signatures in 10 days of people that were residents that were in favor of the Helen Aldridge upgrade. That was without the petition that those young children handed in. Do you remember the count on that, Mary Beth?
45 for the children, 314 adults.
And the 45 for the children, they took up upon themselves, and they were less than 10 days. So I think their voices need to be heard and also followed through with. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Anyone else? Yep.
Greg Straley, 47, O'Halloran Circle. We asked at the last meeting about getting our answers in writing. Do we have any answers in writing for the questions that we asked? One question. My wife put in foils this week, and Mary Beth quoted to her that she has to hand them over to the attorney. Is this protocol to everybody's foils? Does all the foils from everybody go to the attorney? And if so, why? I've been asking for the past 9 years for the hours of operation for Peckham and Bonded. And all I do is I keep getting jerked around with the mine land reclamation for the hours that the DEC has. I know that permit, I have that permit. That's not what I'm asking for. Why can't I get the hours of operation for that part of the mine, not in the mine itself? So why is it taking 9 years to do this? Again, do they have a special use permit? And if they do, I put a foil in for it. The only thing I got there was meeting minutes for the special use permit. I want the special use permit. I'm entitled to it. I foiled it. It's against the law for you people not to hand me that permit or anybody else that foiled it. Why isn't Peckham, why didn't they finish putting the fence around the mine? Number one. Number two, they put a 9-foot fence up for noise on O'Halloran Circle. There's holes all through the fence. It's not being taken care of. I got to drive by it every day and look at holes in the fence and grass growing up it. Why isn't it being maintained? Totally wrong. They went for variances on the silos and everything else. They stated under oath, the hours for that blacktop plant were 7 to 3:30, and I've submitted every statement and everything that was turned in that they swore the hours were 7 to 3:30, Monday through Friday. We don't work Saturdays unless it's a big job, and definitely not Sunday. Why is it 4 o'clock in the morning, that gate is being unlocked, and there's noise coming out of that quarry? For the last 9 years. Dutchess Quarry did not do that. And even if they do have a special permit, it's still not permitted. What about the C&D material? It's not in the zoning for them to have C&D material on that site. And the town, so we have a zoning guy. Why isn't he up there doing his job? Why isn't a stop work order put on this place? And where is the notice of intent to sue on the website that was stamped in from Pace University? Why isn't that on the website?
Anyone else? Hearing none. Last call. I move to close the meeting to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I would like to, Paul?
Yes.
I would like to have a meeting with you, attorney-client privilege.
Sure, we'll have an attorney-client session, that's fine, before we close the meeting.
After you close it?
Before we close it.
Oh, okay.
Are we kicking them out, or are we going to step out?
It'd be probably easier.
It would be easier for us to step out, yeah.
Just the board.
Yeah. we need to motion to come out of that?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
So we're not going to explain what we just did?
Oh,
Well,
yeah, sorry.
So there was just a question, procedural question that came up prior to this, and that was with regard to reconsideration. So there was a question of something that was adopted today. It could either be reconsidered tonight, now that you're out of your public hearing or your public participation portion of your meeting, or it can be reconsidered at the next regular meeting of the town board. After that, it will be a new motion.
Okay.
Motion to it.
Motion to adjourn?